The state of Tennessee is a right-to-work state. And as I told the associations when I met with them, and I told them this again and again, I think if you're treating if the elected officials are treating the employees of our town responsibly the way they should, there is no need for unions. If you're a person of goodwill that's doing the right thing by your employees, there is no need to have a union. We are a right-to-work state. I do think we need to be reasonable in giving the opportunity for any grievances that come up to be heard, maybe not by one person, but maybe by a review committee of people, of elected officials that hear a concern of the employees and make sure they're given a due process. And everyone wants to be heard and know that they're being treated fairly and the facts are being analyzed. But even the associations sat there and said to me, Mr. Howse, we agree with you that if we can get some folks elected that will just do the right thing by the town employees, particularly fire and police, we would love to disband our associations. So I told them the same thing I will say to you. A union or an association or a collection of people should not have to come together to have elected officials do the right thing and be people of goodwill. In the Declaration of Independence, we see in our Constitution, we see in many of our organic documents as a nation, the protecting of life, liberty, and property. So I go back to those again. Fulfilling the limited purpose of government, protecting life, liberty, and property. And your liberties can be infringed upon. A lot of times liberties are infringed upon by government and the people don't even realize their liberties have been infringed on. But anytime you overtax, anytime you overregulate, you are infringing on liberties. Again, there's a responsible limited purpose of government. Ronald Reagan liked to say that if it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. If it stops moving, subsidize it. And government seems to be very good at growing itself. And when it grows, obviously, it is violating the limited purpose of government and then violating liberties. So I think you've got to go back to the same thing our founding fathers had for government, a limited, specific government. And that means really also calling on the local citizens to be involved in volunteering, civic organizations, nonprofits that get involved in the community because, again, the government is not here to solve every problem and get involved in every area. Government has a very specific purpose. And we see a lot of times government plundering the citizens. And they plunder, I think, for a couple reasons. Elected officials plunder for themselves or their special interest, and then they also plunder for philanthropic purposes. And they may be good philanthropic purposes, but that's not the purpose of establishing government. The purpose of government is not philanthropic. We've become a welfare state in so many ways. Good programs for good reasons, but not fulfilling the purpose of government, to be involved in those philanthropic purposes. So I think, again, you've got to keep a limited government because if it grows beyond its limited purpose, it starts to infringe on liberty. Everything the government has, it has to take from the taxpayer. So every time you take from somebody, you're depriving them of their property that was earned through their hard work. So I think you got to go back to those original core principles that our founding fathers had. Is what is the purpose of government? It is really to defend life, liberty, and property. Government exists to eliminate injustice. Government exists to make justice reign, and we have to make sure it falls within that